So just wanted to show off my new lab rack here. Just put the rack itself together. It's a Dell R710 with 108 gigs of RAM. 2 quad-core processors that show up as 16 cores in the operating system. It runs Ubuntu 1606, I think 1606, 1604 LTS, and that's because I'm running the Eve NG network simulation software on here. So that it requires, or it suggested that you put the software on a system with 1606, 1604. So I did that. Lots of RAM on this, which is fairly cheap. I had a lot of stuff laying around. I have a lot of parts here. So my business partner works somewhere where they get rid of a lot of stuff. So we just have stuff like piled up here. It's running, the hard drive is a PCIe NVMe SSD card. I have a PERC H700 in the as the RAID controller, and that'll be controlling these drives here, which I do not have populated yet. A little super micro device here. This is a very lightweight box, doesn't even really have a fan in it, but it has an SSD connected to it, and for its hard drive. Both of these have, like, the main boot hard drive is about 128 gigs, so nothing serious. This is just going to be to command, and I'm going to get a power strip that I can actually connect to the network and then turn ports on and off, because I want to try and conserve power here. In the back, for connectivity of the entire rack and all the other devices, I have a Cisco 4948. This is not the 10 gig model, but the 1 gig model here. So I have the SFP ports in the back. I'm waiting for a 25, a dual NIC, 25 gigs per what's it called, interface, or per slot. Took out one power supply here because I really just don't want to use that many. Have this right here, just extra ports, and then the base ports that come on it as well. This NIC card, I believe it's a Niagara NIC card or something like that. It runs the Intel chipset on it, but it also allows for bypass. So for instance, even if the card is not in operation or being in use, as long as there's power to the chassis, it actually still operates and passes traffic. So that's really good for things like if you wanted to build a network capture or a PCAP, or if you want to do like an R-span from your Cisco device to that, then you can do an R-span. It'll replicate the traffic, say, on port 1 to port 2, and then this could be your capture device and your analyzer, so you can actually run certain heuristics or pattern matches on it, just in case you want to do any intrusion prevention, detection, and things like that. So I wanted to do that at one point, but I never really went through with it. What else? So this rack, it didn't come with these casters, so I got some heavy duty casters, about $10 a piece. Then of course all the mounting equipment that's necessary for it as well. Had to buy that, but these are nice. They lock, they're heavy duty, so they hold a lot of weight, and they just slide real smooth even with the weight that I'm going to be putting on here. I plan on getting one ASA 5585, so that's a heavyweight firewall. Might even get ASA 5510, which I actually gave away to somebody, but they needed it way more than I did. That I want to get probably about 2. I may cut back on that, I'm not sure, because I got to worry about power and everything like that. But I may get maybe 2 Cisco Nexus 5585 UP switches. So that's their 48 port base, and then it expands up to another 48 port. So you're looking at 96 ports on that. Also probably want to get some other devices on here as well, but a lot of stuff will be virtualized within that box right there. Has more than enough memory and processing power to do everything. I also want to start running T-Rex, which is what's it called, a network stress test device. So pretty much you can start having certain devices that are under test, or DUTs, device under test, or DUTs. So for instance, if I had a switch or an ASA, and I had a couple rules, and I want to actually, I want to put it in production. Customer says, hey, listen, I want to make sure that this can do deep packet inspection and handle all the network traffic and everything like that without losing anything, and I want to maintain probably like say a gig worth of traffic per second while getting inspected and all that. So it's like, all right, I can spec something out, test it with proper PCAP files or packet captures, whether from Wireshark. But with T-Rex, what it does, you can take like a 15K or 1 meg or what have you PCAP file, and that PCAP file could be a blend of a ton of other things, like or a ton of other type of network traffic, and it'll actually simulate say 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 users, and it's actually low latency, or sorry, low process. It's not very CPU intensive, is the point I'm trying to get out. I'm a bit tired, and sometimes I just fumble my words anyway, but I wanted to really get this rack together so I can get this stuff cleaned up around here. Just got to get rid of some of this stuff here, but some old computer parts, but that's just how it is. So I can use T-Rex and actually say if I want to do IPS, and make sure that it can do IPS at a gig per second with say Vonage or some other type of phone traffic on it, and even test redundancy, test things like the new Cisco VPC, the virtual port channel technology, and some other skills that I want to start picking up and learning. I can have a rack that can do it in so many different configurations. I can virtualize stuff on a device like this, and it doesn't take up as much power or space. I don't have to spend so much money. So this is kind of the first phase of this rack, and then I'll start adding more stuff. It's 25U, so if I wanted to, every U can hold one device or one server. This server is the switch, and the small server is 1U. This server is 2U. You can see right here, this is U25 and U24. So I can have like 25 of those devices all racked up on this front side, and even another 25 on the back side if it all fit, but it'll be really close. But yeah, so pretty much just trying to learn some new skills, get my business partners in here so we can all learn and start labbing certain things up, and they can actually come here and learn more. And then it just makes us investing more time and money into learning new skills, and then that just gets us more money on the back end, because now we can charge customers even more or get higher end clients, really, because we're not really into like killing our customers with pricing, but we can even get higher end clients that actually would pay $150 on a regular basis, or even $200 an hour for our consulting services. But for something like that, you're going to have to come in and really save some people, and also, but you're going to have to know your stuff. They're not just going to pay you $200 an hour just so they can watch you Google it for a couple minutes or what have you. So there's always something like that, and you definitely want to sharpen your skills. So I'm trying to do that. What I really like is just these damn casters. Like, that's just pretty badass. I like that. Anyways, as always, thanks for listening. I'm going to take my ass to sleep.